Hola! Hey guys, how's it going? I'm in Concepcion, Chile right now, and I just wanted to shoot you guys this little video. I've got a tiny little notepad here of a couple of the adventures I went on and a couple of things I wanted to talk about. Last time in Valparaiso, I didn't have that notepad, and I think it kind of helps guide these one take videos a little bit better. So I'm just going to get started and talk about the three things that I did here and some lessons that I learned along the way here in Concepcion. So first thing, I guess I'll talk about the three things. First one was I went on a really nice long bike ride. I had a nice potluck, played some cards with the family that I'm staying at right now here in Concepcion at a Airbnb, a super house, and I went rock climbing as well and biked around town. So first one, just the regional park tour that I did. So I guess I got in on Friday night really late, like I thought the buses were going to run every hour or half hour from Valparaiso to Concepcion, and they didn't. They ran, like I had to wait 2 hours at the bus stop, so I was leaving Valparaiso, Santiago at like 5 o'clock, and I didn't get into here until around 11:30, and then it was crazy. I just like whipped up my little Wi-Fi router and pull up my phone, and there I'm like sitting. I'm like, okay, apparently people told me there was Uber, so I grabbed an Uber from the bus station in Concepcion at 11:30 at night to my hostel or my Airbnb. It was about a 20-minute drive, and it cost me like $6 Canadian. So I was like, holy crap, thank you Uber for being epic at that night, especially at that time of night, because I wasn't really sure I was going to get there. If I had to get on the bus, like would have been not as ideal, especially at that time of night. So got on this Uber, got to the place, and just like settled in, had a shower, and went to sleep, and was like, okay, that's definitely all I wanted to do that day. And I woke up on Saturday, and I knew I only had a few days before I had to get to work on Monday, that I have like completely fully free off. So one of the things I wanted to do was rent a bike, and it turns out my host family, the mother had a bike, and it was a big 1-speed bike with a big basket on it, super heavy bike, fat rim, like fat wheels, white wall tires. You see the bike in the photos, and I was like, okay, well, this is the bike I have, and I'm gonna go ride. And I wanted to go on to ride way out into the farthest peninsula, basically, outside of Concepcion. That's right along the coastline. There's a couple national park or regional parks there, and then there's also some tiny like towns and ranches and whatnot. So I started biking out there, and round trip it was about a 44-kilometer bike ride with this bike, so it was pretty aggressive. I definitely felt it the next day and the day after. Did a lot of stretching, but it was a really nice ride. I mean, it got out there, and the ride out there was kind of sketchy because I wasn't using the bike lane, so I was riding on the highway for some of it and not on the highway as much as I could. But I finally got off to the turnoff, which was actually right beside like an oil filtration refinery, or an oil refinery, which was kind of interesting. And so, yeah, go down this log road, like this logging road, dirt road kind of thing, and it just kept going and going and going. And originally I wanted to get to this little town. There was like, seemed to be like a cluster of buildings with a little restaurant that served like fresh ceviche, and I wanted to just kind of hang out there for the day and read my book. And so that's what I was aiming for. I ended up not getting there at all, but that's totally fine. That's totally the part of travel that I love the most. So I kept going down this dirt road, and I took a wrong turn. I went left instead of going right, and I went along and along and along and along. And instead of climbing up this hill, I just kind of followed the coastline, and I wrapped around, and I got to this beautiful scenic beach that was part of the park. And I just sat there, ate some snacks, and was enjoying the scenery. And then I decided to start taking photos, and I saw these fishermen. They had these guys who were just like these huge rods. They must have been like 15 to 20 foot rods, and they would basically stand on the beach, and then they would like a running cast kind of thing. They would cast this lure, like, I don't know, my eyesight isn't good enough to see how far the thing went, and then they would plant these fishing poles. So they had like these PVC piping or like some piping that they would stick into the beach sand, and then they would put their fishing rod into that, and they would just let it sit there kind of like fully vertical, and they had like probably a dozen of them just lined up along the beach at any given time. Like I didn't get any photos of the dozen because they were kind of cleaning up as I was watching, and then I realized I should take some photos. But it was really cool to see that, and then as they were cleaning up, I kind of went up to them. I was walking by them, and they were like, "Hola," and I was like, "Hola," and obviously I'm not from there, so they waved me over and were like, "Oh, you want to eat? Comer?" And I was like, "Yeah, that'd be awesome." So they were making. They had like a deep fryer and whatnot set up to barbecue. They were making fresh fish empanadas that they had just caught the fish from, like right there on the beach on the Saturday. And so they gave me some empanadas, fish empanadas, and as you guys know, I'm a vegetarian, but I do accept like having meat or any kind of fish or that kind of stuff when it's caught by the person and I know the person, or I see the people catching it, or it's like right there and it's part of an experience and it's a special moment. So it was definitely a really special moment to like engage with the locals and their culture, like like right on the ground, like at the most fundamental level there. And it was really cool because after that they were like, "Oh, do you want some what they call coca yoyo, cocha yoyo, and cocha yoyo is a type of seaweed that you can eat." And I was like, "This is ridiculous." So they go like in their boots or whatever, grab a piece of cocha yoyo that's like floating in from the sea, and break it off and like give it to me. And I'm thinking like, these guys are just like trying to pull a quick one on me, like they want me to eat some seaweed, like this is disgusting, and they're just gonna want to like laugh at me basically and make fun of me. And one of the guys like takes a bite out of it. He's like, "See, like it's good," because he obviously saw that I was kind of hesitant to eat it. And I was like, "Cool." Okay, so I eat it and I'm like, I rub it off the sand or whatever, and I eat this cocha yoyo, and it was freaking good. I was like, "This is crazy." And then a couple days later, I told my host family about that, and they were like, "Are you freaking crazy? Like you ate seaweed? Why would you do that?" But I ate it, and it was like, it was really good, and I would love to have more of it at any disposal. I mean, they said you had to eat it pretty fresh because it dries out really quickly. But I took a photo of it, and it has like membranes in it, and it's quite chewy and hard and tough, but like had a very good, nice texture to it at the end of the day. I really liked it. And so after hanging out on that beach for a while, I decided I would leave and I would try and find that place that I was trying to get to. So I dropped the pin on the map where I was wanting to go, and I went back down that road that kind of followed the river basin out back to where the refinery was, kind of in that direction. Didn't get all the way to the refinery, and headed left to go up this hill. And so started trying to climb this hill, and this bike did not like climbing hills, so thankfully the hills weren't huge, but basically just got off the bike and walked this thing up the hill, and just kept going and going and going. And it was about 12 kilometers on a dirt road before the turnoff. So I was going on this dirt road 12 kilometers in the countryside, way out in the rural area, I guess, of Concepcion, on the coastline, and beautiful countryside. People, driving out towards where I was trying to head, out to this beach, out to this town. There's a couple options of places you could go to. People ripping by in motorbikes because there's a whole bunch of dirt biking trails out and around there. So it was kind of interesting. And then there I am, like pedaling on this dirt bike, or pedaling on this, like, what do you call it? Pedaling on that red bike that I was rocking, and it was just like, this is ridiculous. And then I finally got to where I was supposed to make this turn off, and I made the wrong turn off, and so it turned right instead of left, and I went down, and I was heading at this point down towards the beach, and I didn't really know where I was wanting to go at that point because I got to the end of the road and I saw all these people heading towards the beach. I was like, damn, I went the wrong way. And then there was a sign that was like, "Do not enter military naval base." And I was like, it's Saturday at 5 p.m. or whatever. Like, there's probably nobody around there. There was a trail that seemed like some people had walked on it before. So I was sitting there like, okay, I'm just gonna I'm just gonna go and I'm just gonna walk down this trail because I'm alone and I'm not with a huge group of people anyways. So walk down this trail. The barbed wire fence like stopped, like it was there, but it was like there was a section that there was no wire. So I was like, okay, I'll just walk through here, cross the path, and I ended up getting into this area that was absolutely freaking spectacular. Like it was like I've never seen a coastline so ruggedly beautiful. And I know that they exist similarly elsewhere, but I just like got a glimpse of it through the trees. My jaw just like dropped, and I was like, I need to go check this out. So there's a video of me on a tree. I'll post the video on here where I climbed down the super steep cliff and went and checked out the coastline there. It was pretty sketchy, and then I climbed back up onto the bench, and then I ended up kind of continuing down further along this ridge line, I guess, because it was like really sheer cliffside, and not a ridge line, just like the cliffside edge, and in the forest. And I got around to another kind of protruding area, and that was a little bit safer to go out and hang out on. So I hung out there for about an hour and just watched the sun as it kind of continued to set on this coastline, and watched the birds. Like there was hawks, seagulls, and pelicans, like, and another type of bird, not a booby, but another type of bird. I'm not sure what kind of bird. And they were all like flying around, fishing, like getting fish, and like doing a whole bunch of crap. And it was really entertaining and really beautiful sight. I was right outside of this naval base, so I was kind of hidden around the corner, so they wouldn't be able to see me if there was anyone there. But I don't think there was anyone there. And so that was like the crazy day of just, biking out to this awesome place. It was fantastic. I love taking adventures like that. I mean, it would have been awesome to be able to bring somebody along with me, but unfortunately there's no hostels here in Concepcion that I could find, so I ended up having to stay with my Airbnb family, and they were out busy doing other things that day. So then I ended up biking back into town, and ended up got out of the forest